So have you guys been looking for the Lady Death? Yes, I know I have been too, and I have a bunch of friends that have this, but I updated the boss spawn location on this video, so we'll be showing you exactly where you guys can get these and you guys get a visual representation of that location. So enjoy the video. Let's dive into how to get this bad boy. Now this exotic, the Lady Death, is probably one of the trickiest, the hardest ones to end up getting because it requires a lot of RNG and there's a space in between how often you can kill these bosses. But I'll get into that in just a second. So the Lady Death, this one dropped with 12% SMG damage, 17.5% critical hit chance, and then it had a God roll 6% damage to armor. Now the talent that makes this weapon so good is Breathe Free. When moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks if sprinting, up to 40 stacks total. Each round fire consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 60%. Kills grant 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. So you can see how this weapon is actually really good for you run and gunners. The one thing that is a downside to it is that it only has a 32 round mag on. This weapon drops in open world bosses. Well, it can drop anywhere, right? There's a small chance that any exotic can drop anywhere in the world, but the higher chance that most of the people that I know that have gotten this weapon have gotten from open world bosses in New York City. Yes, New York City, doing either bounties or doing the open world bosses. Now, one thing you want to remember is these open world bosses are on a timer. Once you kill one, you have to wait 30 minutes for the bosses to spawn. There are over, I want to say, 11 different spawn locations, and I'll show you exact locations right now with a description in each one of those. But each one of those locations will not have a boss for 30 minutes after you find the one boss. So wherever you find your boss, you kill him, you have to wait 30 minutes to find another boss. The first boss I'm going to show you is going to be located in Battery Park. Now the exact location will be pinpointed right here on your map. Now this is just west of the Liberty, the Liberty Island mission, and then right here under the Christmas market. So it's in this general vicinity right now. So I'm gonna run over there real quick just so you see. I actually ran from the control point Waterfront all the way over here because the Waterfront control point isn't that far. So if you run all the way to the middle of the park, almost you just see a bunch of grass, a couple trees. The boss will spawn in this area. You see where there's like that little red flare right there, well, red light. In this general area is where you guys are going to find the boss. And when you do find him, there he goes. So that is the boss right there. So in this general area, the boss likes to patrol with his guys. The one thing to keep in mind is the bosses won't always be the same. I think these are cleaners right here. Sometimes they're Rikers, sometimes they're Black Tusk. They definitely do rotate, so don't expect to see the same exact bosses that I have that you guys get. So it will rotate. Boss number 2 is going to be just to the west of Wall Street mission. So just to the west, if you look, like there's like a little triangle right here, you know where our last boss was. To the north of him, there's a little gap right there. This is where you want to go. This is where you're gonna find boss number 2. So right in this general area, this is where you guys will find him. And this time it was Black Tusk. So that was the boss, and it reminded me of Buddy and Lucy. So it was actually one of those mechanical dogs. This is going to be where boss number 2 spawns, and like I told you, the boss may differ. You may not always get the same boss. It just depends on the boss that it gives you. But yeah, look for this empty fountain. You should find the boss sitting in there with some enemies guarding him, and that is boss number 2. So let's get into boss number 3. So the third boss spawn location is going to be located just east of Waterfront location. You see where the supply drop activity is? Anytime you see a red activity there, anytime you see an activity period there, you don't want to really go there and look for a boss. I would recommend clearing out the activity and then coming back later. I've had issues where there won't be any spawn at all. So nothing will spawn because you have to clear out the activity. As soon as I clear out the activity, I go somewhere else, I come back, there is a boss there. So remember, the bosses aren't always going to spawn, but I feel like when there's an activity, they have a less chance of spawning. So we're gonna find the boss. Look, as soon as you leave this control point, you head a little bit to the east, you go north, and then you'll see right in this area. If you did the hunter mask, you'll recognize this area, right? So if you did the hunter mask, you will 100% recognize this area because this area had the flags that you had to raise, and this is where we're gonna fight this boss. Boss spawn location number 4 is gonna be right here at the supply drop. So if you look at this Brooklyn Bridge control point, you come all the way down right here. There is a nice location. I always find a boss here. The only time bosses don't spawn here, like I told you, a lot of times you get propaganda activities there, you get control area there. That's when you won't get. So you need to make sure you clear that and then come back. But as long as there is no mission there, like the supply drop, like I pinpointed, this boss will spawn. This time there was actually 2 bosses. There are 2 different bosses, and that means you have a better chance of getting more exotics, right? So boss number 5, his spawn location will be in these underground tunnels. So this underground tunnel, this is the residential building safe house, and just to the east of it you have the underground tunnel. So all you have to do is go in the tunnels and circle around, and you will find a boss in there hanging out. He spawned in there, I want to say both times I've gone down there and looking for him, he's been down there. He's just been chilling down there. So if you're looking for this boss right here, remember, it could be a random, it might not be the same exact boss, but if you're looking for him, he has spawned in underground pretty much every time I've gone. So I have gotten pretty lucky with this boss spawn right here. Boss number 6 spawn location is just northeast of Animal Shelter Safe House, right here, exactly where I'm pinpointing. So you see the Animal Shelter Safe House. If you go just northeast of it, right here, and then he spawns right in his, right where you see this little statue is where you are going to find this boss. It's in this general vicinity right here where the statue is. This is where you will find him. Just south of City Hall control point, right here where I'm pinpointing, there is a boss that spawns in this location. So you see the City Hall control point, you want to go south of it, and what you want to do is just go towards the road. There's going to be some roads, different levels, and you want to take the under ramp, and the under ramp road is going to take you directly to where you want to be with him. So once you get to an area that has a bunch of different roads, some going up, some going underneath, you need to go underneath like I'm doing right now. So you have the highway, you're going underneath it, and directly in front of me, right when you go into this passageway right here, he's going to spawn in this general area. So once you see that purple guy, most likely you have him, and my boss was sitting on the top. He was sitting up there. So yeah, that is the boss, and this is where you get boss number 7. Boss number 8 will spawn right here where these components are. If you see where Stranded Tanker is, that mission, there's a components to the left of it. Right here in this general area, all around this area, you can probably find yourself another boss that tends to run around there. So either spawn at that mission or spawn at the control point just north of here, and then run towards it. And as you guys get close to it, if you look right now, there's a public execution right where those components are. So right where that public execution is, there is a component. So as I'm running up from the west, right, I'm coming from the west, I notice they are already fighting. And usually if they are fighting another faction, there's a boss that's tied to that. And if we look around, we're going to see the boss come to the right. It's going to be one of those, another one of those mechanical dogs. And he's going to be right here on the right side, right there. So that's how you guys know. That's usually a good sign. If you see 2 factions fighting, there's usually a boss involved that's leading in the way. So boss number 9, if you go to the Haven safe house, right, the Haven new base of operation, and you go follow this road all the way down, you see where this territory control is, there will be a boss that spawns in that area too. Well, has a chance. And this is the boss that I ended up having spawn there. So there is the 9th boss right there. And for the final boss spawn location, number 10, they're saying that he spawns in this general area right here. Now, I have not had any luck getting him to spawn, and I've tried different things. I circled the area. I spent about like 3 hours in one session just going for this boss, and nothing ever happened. But I have gotten confirmation that one does spawn in this area. Now, if it's not in this general area here, maybe to the north where that question mark is, I've heard people say a boss spawns there. So there are over, I want to say these are the 10 locations that I know of. There could be more, but these are the ones that have been confirmed, and other people have confirmed them too. And that is how you guys get the Lady Death. So if you guys have been on the hunt for this weapon, just like I have been, well, this is how you get it. Now, I'm still grinding for it. A couple of my friends got lucky enough to get it, but you know, just the fact that you have to wait 30 minutes after you kill one boss is a little tough. Don't forget, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, hit the comment section. As always, until the next Division 2 video, nothing but skills out.